When I first looked at it, I picked it, but it made me angry. It made me angry. But not because the work was invalid. It made me angry because it reminded me how I needed to be aware. And it runs contrary to what I thought the best of painting should be, but then it became the best of painting. We could show how painting can propel an idea or warn us to create an extreme warning in the light of climate change, crisis that we live in. And so the best of painting actually went to a person named John Boone, who did something called Raincheck. Be aware that when we use these terms, that we have no more time to put something off. This is a painting, using art to convey an idea, to actually make your psychology and behavior come alive is important. Art can do that. Now, for the best work on paper, it came down to a term. And this went to a possibility to teach a lesson. It was almost like a surprise, and sometimes a work of art can open up your ideas about how you, as an artist, I'm thinking as an artist, of how I describe the world around me. And this work was by Ricardo Vicente Jose Ruiz. It's called La Canicula. If you look at this strange beast, that there's no reference other than maybe some drops bleeding from it. And if you look at the term from a scientific astronomy term, it's serious, right? The dog star. But from Mexico, it means the dog days, the hot, horrible days that we face. And so here's a word that expands the way we can describe weather immediately. That it can come from a cultural source and be brave enough to put that in a national exhibition. The Best in Photography show, and the Best in Photography, I decided, and again, the quality of the work, I keep saying it because I looked at it with these glasses many a time, was a piece that can teach and build. It teaches and builds because it took photography. Her name is Dawn Galleto, that took scientific data to build a sculptural piece of photography. And I thought it formally had distinction and capacity when I looked at the way it all lines up. And I was reading it from a formal aspect and to understand that it was a way of bridging how data can be used and applied to this idea of photography. The Best in Show goes back to something that isn't in a lot of these works, is representation. Just a direct representation, and it's to simply represent weather. But in this case, I found Mitch Dobroner. He did a piece called Landspout. Photography is to catch a moment. To catch a moment and take it honestly in black and white, the most traditional form of all, maybe. A looming, mysterious threat. And I think it coincides more with that moment of my belief that we live in an age of something that is not so mysterious, but it is looming. And the darkness of that vision compelled me to keep looking at it and to be absorbed by its content, which is simply a photograph, right? But it shows the power of photography to be best to show or anything else. It shows the power of a moment, like what compelled me to make these choices today. So I thank you so much for allowing me to look at your work and be immersed in it and to open up my own imagination of how one day perhaps I could depict something as elegantly as you all have. Thank you.